Disney cruises have a reputation for a magical cruise experience. You hear about how great the food is, the entertainment, and the service. My Disney cruise did have some magic, but there is definitely room for improvement. Here are 9 things I didn't like about my Disney cruise, and 1 thing I loved. Alright, the first thing I did not like about my Disney cruise was that the character interactions were limited. I thought when I got on the Disney cruise, Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, Goofy, Pluto, the gang were going to be walking around the ship. There was nothing. I got on the ship, there was nothing. There's no Mandalorian, there's no Star Wars, there's no Marvel, there's no Iron Man walking around. It is a cruise ship, which is beautiful, but it was a Disney cruise, so I thought I was going to be interacting with characters all over the place. Turns out the characters only show up at photo op opportunities. There are a couple exceptions to that where they are part of the entertainment that's on the ship. But there's just no characters walking around, so you have to schedule a time where you wait in line for a painfully long amount of time to get your picture taken with Goofy or whoever you want to get your picture taken with. And it's only kind of the classic Disney people. So I don't know, they could have stepped that up a little bit. They could have made it more modern with Star Wars and Marvel, and they could have just had those guys walking around the ship. I think that's what everybody wants. But instead, they made those guys into celebrities where you had to schedule time with them, and you just felt really lucky if you even caught a glimpse. It's a Disney cruise. We want Disney characters. Where were they? All right, the second thing I'm going to talk about is the price of Disney cruises. They are freaking expensive, man.
You don't just get these. These are not cheap.
They are at least twice as much for the amount of time that you're on the water as other cruises. So I expected twice the magic. I don't know if I got twice the magic on the Disney cruise. I had a good time. I brought out my inner child and I embraced the situation. But holy buckets, they're expensive. So I don't think I'm going to be taking another Disney cruise. And the main reason, the number one reason I won't take another Disney cruise is because of the price.
Not for that price.
All right, here's another thing I didn't like on the Disney cruise. You couldn't go to the buffet for dinner. The buffet was only open for breakfast and lunch. And if you didn't want to go to the main dining dinner, which there's no reason why you shouldn't, because they put on performance and they have, pretty decent food and all that business. But hey, maybe you just didn't feel like it that night and you want to just go to the buffet. You can't. You're stuck going to the Duck-In Diner, which isn't fantastic, or Pinocchio's Pizza, which I didn't try, but the pizza looked terrible. It looked so bad that I wouldn't even try it. Hey, maybe it's the best pizza ever, but it looked bad. You can kind of tell pizza by how it looks. So anyway, you can get a pizza or a piece of pizza or a burger, but no buffet for dinner if you want to skip main dining. I think that's a big downer. I think they should open up the buffet for those that choose not to go to main dining.
I will take a free breakfast buffet anytime, any place.
All right, on most cruise ships, you're going to find a few cafes around the ship where you can just go sit down, have a cup of coffee in the morning, wake up slowly, have a croissant, have a donut, have a scone, whatever it is that you like to have with your coffee. I actually don't have any of those things with my coffee. I don't know why I said them, but I'm sure some people do. So anyway, Disney doesn't have that. For breakfast, you got to go to the buffet and you got to fight. You got to fight for your eggs. You got to fight for your bacon. And it's always the Wild West in there. People are crazy. They're trying to get their Mickey Mouse-shaped waffles, and there's nothing that's going to stop. So another thing I didn't like about Disney cruising was they don't have an unlimited alcoholic drinks package. I'm not a huge drinker, but I know that for a lot of people that like to drink on a daily basis or a couple of day basis or whatever, it's important that they can save a little bit of money by getting the package. Just didn't even have that option with Disney. You just had to pay the, whatever it is, 10, 12 bucks a drink and take the hit on top of the already extremely expensive cruise price. They did have a wine bottle package. So for those wine drinkers out there, I guess they had an option, but for people that wanted to have beers or people that wanted to have cocktails, you were just paying them one at a time.
Ooh, we need some drinks or something.
Drink.
And another thing I can talk about that directly affected me and my family on our Disney cruise was the lack of quiet spaces where you can just sit down with your family and play a board game, hang out, and just kind of laugh together and spend some family time together. They had tons of activities all over the ship. They had things to do everywhere. I'm not saying they didn't have that, but what they didn't have is just a place for you to go and sit down and play a game with your family. They did have a couple, but only a couple. And something that happened to us on the ship was we were in the middle of a board game. We had found like one of the couple of spots that you can go play a game quietly with your family. And a Disney representative walked up to us in the middle of our board game and told us that Goofy was going to be putting on a photo op in the corner, near the corner where we were sitting in our board game. But she said, "Yeah, sorry, you're in the middle of a game, but you got to go. You got to go. We're going to move this whole booth to another location." So that was really lame. That really bothered me. They really should have found some different accommodations for us or found a place that we could continue on our game. But she was just very rude about it. She came up, no sympathy, just kicked us out of our spot and didn't really offer us another one to go to. So that was a bummer. They should have more places for people just to hang out with their family. My number one thing that I did not like about the Disney cruise that I was on was the temperature of the food. It was cold. It was cold or lukewarm or kind of hot. It was never hot. It was never like, oh, that's a nice hot meal right here. It was always just lukewarm or cold. Didn't matter if you were in main dining. Didn't matter if you were at the buffet. Didn't matter if you were at the Duck-In Diner. All those places had lukewarm, at best, food. So that was really a bummer. The food honestly was good if it was hot, but it wasn't hot. So it was like, okay. It was like, these lamb chops are okay. They should have been spectacular. They were lamb chops. They had fancy sauces and fancy spices, but they were cold. So it just didn't really work out. So yeah, everybody goes on a cruise looking forward to the food. Step it up, guys. In the buffet, turn up those warmers a little bit. Get that food on the table a little bit faster in main dining. I know that's asking a lot, but hey, we're there for the food. Get it to us hot. So one night on our cruise, we decided as a family we wanted to just go chill out in a cabin together because there wasn't a lot of quiet areas to go sit down and just hang out. So we all got together in our room. We had a balcony room. It was really cool. We're like, hey, let's get something to eat. So we order up some room service, and they say, okay, well, it's going to be about a 50 to 60-minute wait. Well, dinner was in about an hour. So we thought, maybe they'll get it to us early. We'll go for it. So we ended up ordering, 6 different things from room service, and they ended up not even getting it there before we had to leave for dinner. It ended up being more than the 50, 60 minutes that they said. It's just a ridiculous amount of time. If you're going to have room service, have a system set up so that you can get the food to the people in a reasonable amount of time. Who wants their food that they ordered an hour and a half later? That just, you're not even hungry anymore, or you have something else you need to do. It was just kind of dumb. I think they need to work on their room service speed. All right, I am now going to talk about the buffet. The buffet is a lot like Braveheart. You need to go in there with your sword up, and you need to charge in and go for whatever you're going for, and you need to battle to get there. It is a battle zone in the buffet on the Disney Magic. It shouldn't be that hard to get your plate of rice, or your mashed potatoes, or your pork chop, or your chicken cordon bleu. They didn't even have chicken cordon bleu. I wish they did. I'm in the mood for chicken cordon bleu. So this is partially Disney's fault, and it is also partially the fault of all the people. Everybody just needs to work together. We're at a buffet. We're all trying to get the food. We need to be respectful, and we need to look around when we turn around with our plates. We need to be, aware that there's other people around, that there's other people that want to get the food. We need to be nice. We don't need to just always take it first. We need to sometimes let that other person take some first. It's okay. The mashed potatoes are still going to be there. That last piece of pizza, you know what? They're going to bring out another pizza. So just work together. Doesn't need to be a war zone in the buffet, but it is. So that is another point of the Disney cruise that I didn't really enjoy. So the one thing that I love about the Disney cruise that I can tell you about today is that included in the exorbitant price for your cruise is soda. You can have all the pop you want. You can have all the juice you want. You've got cranberry. You've got orange. You've got iced tea. You've got Coke. You've got Pepsi. Actually, you don't have Pepsi, but you do have Sprite. And you do have other normal, sodas and carbonated beverages that you can drink. You can just walk up to the drink station. You can fill up your glass, and you can have a glass of soda. You don't need to pay $5 for a Coke or something like that. So the free included, not really free because the price of the cruise, but the included drinks on the Disney cruise are a huge plus. That was something that really stood out on the Disney cruise. So way to go, Disney, including the drinks, not adding on an extra fee to have a Coke. Excellent idea. Hey, you made it all the way to the end of this video. Why not go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. We hope to see you again soon.